There we go. So look at Mfika happy. You were saying that we are coming to our interpolations here. We are done. Okay, so we are coming to syntax interpolation, then directive, then
Ukona interpolate title.
yeah, we were supposed to interpolate the titles. So let's come here and just do the same thing. So in this case, we have got the football is the is the one for the normal component. Yeah? So you can see it from
Normal
here.
as in not standalone.
Exactly. So when you come to the component, you just see we have got three elements. We have got the selector, the template URL, along with the style URL. The template URL, this is where we are having our HTML. So you can see we are coming here from component.com football component.html. Then the style URL, we are just okay, we are connecting it to our CSS. So we are going to football component.css. So this is just a way that we connect our logic to our CSS and our HTML. So if you want to differentiate between a standalone component and a normal component, you just come to your component. So from here you will see the attributes that you basically have. But if you come here to our netball.component.ts, now you'll see that we have got the standalone, which is true, and also we have got the import, which we have here the common modules. Okay, so let's go ahead and we have our, we can do it from here. There's no problem. So we can give it title, and then we can just say, let's call it football component. That way, it's fine enough. It's loading. So when you come to our HTML, and then we want to do this interpolation, you can just say we want interpolate. So interpolation, binding by interpolation, sure. Binding by interpolation. I won't be writing all this thing all the time, interpolation, because spelling is on my neck. So we can just come here and do, let's try doing it without actually having the tags. So we can just come here and say title, and then we check and see whether it's working or not. So when we come to local local host 400, there we go. So you can see now we have here football component, which means our title is rendering, and we can as well just decide to put it maybe in some tag, let's say h1, and we again just say their title, and again it will just render. So in this case, when you come to you can see now football component, so you can render it either in a HTML tag. You can just as well render it on its own. And again, if you come here, I was still doing the same thing, rendering by interpolation. So more or less the same thing, okay?
Okay.
And the most of the time we'll be doing rendering by interpolation, unless we are working with event listeners, like if in case we're doing something to do with a button or other things, Okay, so let's come to the other one. Apart from interpolation, we can as well use property binding. So in property binding, you must be able to know a little bit of JavaScript. So in JavaScript, remember we used to have selectors, So we can have selectors, ID selectors. We have class selectors and other selectors. So one of the ID class selector that we always have, we have the inner text. So you must be able to link it using the JavaScript part of it. So we have got the HTML and the JavaScript. So if in case you know a JavaScript that go hand in hand with HTML, then in that case you can do property binding. So the one for the property binding and event binding, we'll look into them the first thing when we are meeting next time,
Okay.
Okay, cool. That is your word. But today I've just gotten it. Don't worry, I have relinquished it back without a fight. We won't fight over it. Okay,
Sina copyrights, usijali. Pia mimi sina copyrights.
you never know. This is Kenya. Anything can happen. We can have a copyright. Maybe it after tomorrow, and I'll be in court the next day. So let's talk about directives. So we talk about directives. They are just usable function we can use to manipulate our DOM. So remember,
Wait, before you go to directives,
yes.
what have you mentioned on selectors?
Selectors. I've said that when you're doing, okay, there are three ways that we can do the binding. That is, you can connect your logic and your HTML. So the first one is interpolation that we have done. The second one is property binding. So you can when you do property binding, let's just do an example. Maybe I think that can work. So let's say we have a div, and then inside this div, let's say we have what do you call it?
You're not inside the div.
No, I'm inside the div. Okay, div is inside
Oh,
here, but we are inside
yeah.
the div.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Okay, so we have a property. Let's just say no. In a HTML, so something like this. So remember, we are inside. Okay, we are using HTML tags. But at the same time, we want to access our selectors in JavaScript. So something like the inner text is a valid selector in JavaScript. So there's a way you can because we are using TypeScript, and we say that every JavaScript is a valid TypeScript, which means we can use the JavaScript selectors in our TypeScript. So you can because we are writing our logics. So in this case, the inner text will be counted as part of the logic. Like it's not HTML per se, but it is our TS TypeScript in a way. So you can as well just interpolate using them. So you have to identify a valid HTML tag. Like in this case, we have got the div, and then you again identify a valid JavaScript. And then now you bring them together. So in that case, we are going to use our selectors in JavaScript to interpolate, okay, to do the binding. Yeah, but when you come next time, everything will be clear, because I'll be having a lot of examples to show for the same.
Okay. So
It's okay. So the next one we are going to do our directives. So you remember what is, okay, you remember DOM. So our DOM document, what is the DOM by day? Maybe I'm forgetting.
hata mimi hiyo document tu ndo nakumbuka. The idea of it is ilikuwa
Document object model.
object. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Don't worry. So remember the DOM. We just want to look at how our elements will be operating within the DOM. So we will be using directives. So there are two types of directives. There is the structural directive and the attribute directive. The difference between structural, most of the time we'll be using the structural directive as opposed to attribute directives. And the attribute directives just go to a given attribute. Let's take for instance, we come to our div here. So they are the directive that will go to the div itself, and then the directive that will span just more than a div. So the directive that will be spanning more than a div will be calling the structural directives, but the one that will be just for a given div will be calling them the attribute directives. Again, the attribute are mostly used to implement the project logic, and they don't affect the entire DOM as we have said, but then the structural one will be affecting the entire DOM. So some of the most used directive that we are going to look at today are the ngIf, the ngFor, but then next time we'll be exhausting the list because they are also the ng switch, and again there's another one called the ng class. There's just so many, yeah. So let's
Just a very small problem,
yeah,
just very tiny, built in,
yeah.
built in.
Built in, it just means that
No, as in the spelling. I get in that it's built in, it comes with the application, but
yeah,
built
built.
Bultin, built in.
Oh,
Hii bulletin yako, hii bulletin exists, that's all.
I will make it exist next time. Next time it must exist.
Yeah, that was just on a light note. Continue.
Okay. There's no problem. So today we are going to look at just the two of them. We're going to look at ngIf and ngFor, but next time we will come with a lot of other directives because we just want to have an awesome view of how Angular basically works. Okay. So let us see the one for the the ngIf. So we'll be coming here to our games. Okay, our component.ts, and then we'll be making use of an interface. So interfaces that allow us to always, okay, we can use it in so many places. So like in this case I was using it in our component.ts. At the same time I was using it here in our football.ts. So instead of just repeating your code, remember our main objective is to write as thin code as possible. The dry codes do not repeat yourself. So we don't want to be declaring the same thing over and over again. So once we have declared it as interface, we can pick it and use it wherever we want to. Thereby we will be just writing as thin codes as possible. So we will come here and declare just an interface, and our interface will be for an object called game. The object will be having three attributes. The first attribute will be the name, which will be a string, and then we'll have id, which will be a number, and a description will be string. So if in case we come to our app component, then we can basically call, let's just remove this one here, and then we can do it again. So we can have an instance of our this one is acting up, but don't worry, you can just continue. There we go. Okay, so let's come back again to our component. So when you come here, we can have an instance of our interface, or we can just call it our interface, and of course we have already imported it here. So we'll just say we can call it games, or just game, and it will be of type games, but we want it to be an array because it will be containing so many games. And then here we just also have an array. Then inside that array we'll be having our objects. So the first one will be having the name. Let's say that this one is just football, and then we'll be having its id, which is just a number. So let's say it's of id 1, and then we'll having the description, and let's say football is cool. And then we can have another instance of the same interface. So we can just have some duplication. We'll just have 3 of them. So then we again duplicate, another duplication, and the last duplication. So here let's say we have volleyball, and then we can have netball, and then we can have rugby. I think that's the spelling. So we can just replace this one by rugby school, and then the same thing, netball is school, and then here we have volleyball is school. You're still around?
Very much so.
It's okay, thank you. So once we are here, now we can use our ngFor and our ngIf. There's something wrong with this one here. football component. Okay, I'm supposed to do the saving, and that will take the error away. Okay, so once we're here, then we can now use our ngIf. ngIf just stands for the if statement, alafu ng4 stands for the for statement. So we can use the for statement, and also we can use the if statement. So let's take, for example, we want to display all these all these instances. Then we cannot just, we have to look through, the first index, second index, third index, fourth index, and the rest. And that will be so much important when we be displaying our APIs, or when you'll be displaying a list. Let's say you are displaying data from a database, and you're dealing with a very large database. You cannot just go and then go the first line, second line, fourth line. It will be just very much extensive. So in that case, we'll be using our ng4. So let's see how we can use the ng4 and the ngIf in our statement. Those are just some of the directives that we basically have. So let's start with the ng4. So we'll come here and just do a div. We can do a div, you can do a p, you can do h1. So let's do h1, and then the one will do a div. So the syntax is, it is you come with asterisk, then ng4, and then we are going to let goal of goals. Okay, and then when you come here, let's say of games, there's no goals, game of games, there we go. Then when you come here, we can now, we have their game okay. It's like my card is working. Okay. There we go. So it's just the spelling that is messing me up here.
Oh.
So yeah, we can just say games. I hope that will work. Of games, so that when we come here, we can just do game of games. Sure, that will be working. So from there, we can display our names. We have their game dot name. Okay, and when we save and we come to our, so you can see we have all the names here: football, volleyball, netball, and rugby. And again, we can as well just give the other attributes. So we can also have game or ID, and also game description. So you can have this ID maybe starting here at the very first part of it. I think that will work. Yes. So you can see we have got football is cool, volleyball is cool, netball is cool, rugby is cool. And probably we can just come here and change the second ID, third ID, so that it can make some small signs. Yeah. So when you come here, you can see we have the first one, second one, third one, and the fourth one. So instead of coming and then you have to look at, you have to display it for every, you have to write the same code for all of them. Then we can basically use our ng4. And again, when you come to our app.model, okay, football component. It has not brought up that model, that model. I think it's part of the routing model, or I'll go check to see which part of model is there, because every time you come up with another model that these components are using, because this is a normal component, you would expect that that model will be, you'll have some import that will be done here, and you don't have to worry about the models because Angular CLI will just do it automatically. Like, it just a spark of time. It won't take a lot of time before it basically loads. So this will do for our ng4. Just simple. Just writing is just as simple, no big issue. And then we can do the one for the ngIf. So let's come here and say p, and then we can say ngIf. So we want to say if our game dot length. Okay. Now you see there's a problem in Paradise. Yes, around.
Yes. What's the problem?
Huh?
What's the problem? So there's problem in Paradise.
A big one.
What's the problem?
The syntax is escaping me.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, so if
do
the
you pattern?
yeah,
Games
if the length is greater than, let's say, 2, then we can come here and display, let's say, the games have the quorum needed. Quorum. So then we can come here and see. So you see the games have the quorum needed, which means we are looking at the length and they are more than 4. Let's say if in case they are greater than 9, of which they won't be, so that message you want to be displaying. So you see the message is not displaying. So it's just an if statement. So there are all these things are built in Angular to simplify the process, so that when you start your development process, the only thing that you will have to contend with is maybe how you come up with your APIs, maybe your databases, and then once you have understood the very how these other derivative works, it becomes a little bit much easier for you.
Okay.
So we'll talk about the pipes. The pipes, okay, the pipes they are also, they used to transform our data, and most of, okay, all of them, not all of them, but most of them are inbuilt pipes. You can as well just come up with your own pipes and then you create them. So there are so many pipes that we can basically use. There are a number of pipes. We'll basically exhaust them, but for today, let's just do a simpler one. Let's do the one for the uppercase. So if in case we want our name to be for uppercase, for you to come up with a pipe, you shift, then there's that. Okay, okay, you know how to come up with the perpendicular line.
That is shift what?
Okay, it is the button that is next to the curly braces.
For me, that one is. Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
One on my end.
Yeah, so that is how you come up with your pipes. So let's say we want our names to be uppercase, and then we want our description to be title case, or let's say we want to be lowercase. Lowercase. So that's okay. That's just how pipes work. So you can also, maybe if you have a date, you can just come here and then do a date. If in case it was maybe
This
the one
has
for
changed,
date.
right? It never used to be like this for pipes. Pipes have been working like this since time immemorial. I remember it used to be a process kunini pipes.
Angular changes, so so many things have changed in Angular. So many things have changed. But now that our work has been simplified, we praise God. Yeah. So this is how we do. This is how we do. We deal with pipes. So that should be a title case. There we go.
Let me see how it new.
Okay.
When itatoa kwa the display.
So when you come here, you'll see all the names have been uppercase, alafu then our descriptions are in title case, which means the first one is capitalized. Yeah. So when you want to work with the pipes are very, very important. As in some cases you'll find that you'll basically need them a lot, but then the implementation is not that difficult. And once we do 1 or 2 projects, then I think we'll just pick up from there. Okay. So let's do the last part of it. We'll finish in good time. Let's do the second last part of it. That is our.
You said you'll finish by 9:20.
Don't worry, we'll be done before you know. The last part is not that hectic.
Okay.
So the last part that we're going to do today is the one for Bootstrap. So we're going to, because you see, you remember when we were doing the one for Angular, the one for JavaScript. It is good to always know how to pimp your application when you're using the CSS, all those CSS codes. But sometimes starting from scratch is not always ideal. Like if in case you have got a footer that has been already designed for you, what's the point having our footer? So we'll be using Bootstrap, we'll be using Tailwind. Tailwind is also very important. So Tailwind and Bootstrap, you can sync them together in Angular, or if you can opt to just use Tailwind alone, that too can work. But then is that from what is more familiar? Most people are familiar with Angular compared to Tailwind. So if in case you want to use Bootstrap in Angular, there are 2 ways. The first way is just to use the CDN. So you'll navigate to your Bootstrap, and then you just come to Bootstrap, then you go to get started. Okay, you can come here to docs, documentation, then you can come here to CDN links. So you'll just take the one for our CSS, or you take the one for the JavaScript. So we will take the one for our HTML. So you can just come here, and then you copy all this link here. That will do. So just come here and copy all this link. Okay. And it's the same one here. It's the same one here. And again, it's the same one here. It's this one here. So once you have it there, you just come to your code, go to your root index, and then you can just come here and paste it here, and you save, and you have installed your Bootstrap, and it's basically working. So if you come here, you can see the changes. Oh yes, sir.
Yes, I've seen the changes. Sorry.
Okay, let me not lose you. If I lose you, I'm also gone.
No, it's because it takes a minute for me to unmute and reply. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's okay. So that's the simplest way. If you don't want a lot of npm and the rest, you just go take the CDN, come use it there, and it's a done deal. But if in case you are you're the person who like coding so much, there's also another way. So the next way we can do it we can just do it in our CLI. So we'll come and then just npm bootstrap. So you come to, okay, you'll come to your command line, and then you npmi bootstrap. Yes, npmi bootstrap. Okay, so we'll come to our Node.js to see whether it is there. The node models. Bootstrap. Yeah, it's here. So everything that we need will be here. So it just means that our Bootstrap has been installed and everything is okay. So for you to work with the Bootstrap in your okay, once you have it installed in your application, you'll come to your the JSON file. Let's just minimize our node models. So you'll come to your JSON file. Once you come to your JSON file, it's not JSON, Angular JSON. And then here add style. Sure. So you'll come and then you'll have it there. And then we'll just come and then we carry. It is node models bootstrap list, and then so we'll just come here. Node models bootstrap list CSS, and then bootstrap main bootstrap main.css. So we can save this one, then we can come to our HTML, and then we can highlight this one, and then we save again, and then we can come and see whether we are okay or not. Fine, let's come again and do the saving. Okay, so there's one thing that you need to know. Angular always listen when we are within the application. Okay, so as long as we're working within the application, Angular will always listen. But then when you when you come to your JSON files, the readme, the one that are outside the application, Angular will not listen, which means you'll have to come and then you'll have to restart your Angular CLI so that it can effect all those changes. Okay.
Okay.
So with our problem of today, we won't go there because maybe it will end it will end before we continue with the last part that we would want to do. So the last part that we're going to do.
Another part.
No, it's just we are finishing the bootstrap.
Okay.
So let's just come and then we implement maybe a couple of bootstrap components. Then we'll just call it a day. So we'll just be creating only 3 components, and then we'll be linking them together, and then that will be the end of it. So let's come to our, and then we will be creating the normal components, not the standalone components. So let's come and we'll generate ng generate component, then we'll call it header, and then we'll ng generate component, we'll call it main, and then we'll ng generate component, let's just call it footer. That will work. Generate component footer. there. So let's say that our header here will be housing our navbar. So what we'll be doing will just be coming here to our Bootstrap, then we go to our navbar just the way we always do. We'll come to our components, look at our navbar where it is, and then just pick a navbar from wherever. Let's have this one here. That's not it. Let's copy the code, then we can come here, paste it here, have it set. Then we can go to our main app.ts, and then not app.html, I mean, and then we can have it at the very first one. So we'll just come here and then have header app. Okay, so there we go. So if you come here, you can see that with Bootstrap your Angular app can start taking shape instantly. So there's no, if you look at Angular and other frameworks, you can start building your application just in an instant, as long as you know how to use your CSS codes, you know your frames, your frameworks, like the one for Bootstrap. You can just start building your application and it will take shape almost instantly. So let's come again, and then maybe we can have another application. We can have another one, the one for the body. So we can come here, and then we go to the main HTML. Let's come here and take the one for, let's take a carousel. I always love this carousel. They make my day a little bit easy. So let's have this one here. You're still around?
I am.
Okay, thank you. So we'll come here and then we just paste it and save it. And then since we have got our images, we'll just come here and then replace them. So from here we'll come to images. We have their source. Okay, assets, and then we can, okay, so in this case this one did not have any, so we can go to desktop and then we can come here to our learning, and then we can have all of them. We copy them and we can come here to our games. We can come to sources, assets, there I think goals or learning, okay. So we can come to learning, come to sources, assets, and then we can just paste everything here. That's fair enough. So that when we come here, they're all there. So we come to assets, then we can have the one for Moscow, copy paste, and then we can have it in the next one, and then we can have the one for, let's say, New York, same thing here, and then we can have the one for Shanghai. Okay, and then we can go to our app.ts and then HTML, I mean, and have it at the second one. So we have their app main, and when you save it, just see your app taking shape very fast. There we go. So within just some very few steps, your app will be taking shape very fast. So once you have understood the few concept of Angular, and then you couple it with the other concepts, coding just has to become very simple. So that will be it for today, and then when we come next time, we'll continue working with Angular. So unless you have any question, we'll call it a day.
No questions so far. But yeah, at least we're gonna recording, so it will be good to maybe go through it later on. But this was a good starting point, a good reminding point. So thank you for that.
It's okay. So the only thing that maybe you'll do well to do, just ensure that you have got the installation, you have got the Angular installed, and then in the course of the week, maybe either tomorrow or on Wednesday, I'll be having the design for our issues, and then I'll take you through the first, second, and third issue, because they should be running for the next 3 weeks. It's just one issue every day. So the first issue will be just be designing a simple navbar. It can be a little bit exhaustive, but itakuwa sawa. So don't worry, you have a lovely night rest, and then tomorrow ingia job mapema, tusaidie kujenga uchumi.
Yeah, alrighty. It's not like I have an option, so definitely will.
Unajua okay, unaona tulikuwa